Hi, and welcome to Cover Brand, where we cover all things branding, marketing, and advertising to help you understand what the hell branding is and how it works to grow your business. Welcome and welcome back. I'm your host, Ethan Decker, and today I have Chelle Johnson with me. Hi, Chelle.
Hi, Ethan. It's so nice to be with you. How's it going?
Good, it's good. Good to see you. Where are you
You
calling
too.
from?
I'm here in Littleton, Colorado.
All right, excellent. And we always start with a question about cover bands or cover songs or a thought. Do you have a cover band or cover song story or thought?
I'm not sure it's a cover band has covered it, but I love the song I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For by U2.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty classic. The Red Rocks performance is one of their more favorite ones. Did they do that at Red Rocks or was that the
I
Red
don't know,
Rock?
believe it or not, I've seen U2 like 6 times, but never at Red Rocks.
Wow.
Back in Arizona and Las Vegas and in California, but never at Red Rocks. So I don't know the answer to your question.
Ah, bummer. I do know that while I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For is not a cover song, they wrote it themselves. It was covered in, of all places, Sing 2, the animated movie about a singing contest. And I think the character that sang it with Bono was Scarlett Johansson, of all people.
Of all people, that is so cool. I love animated movies, and if she did cover that, then I didn't know she sang. I did recently because the 50th anniversary of SNL had her on there with singing with
Oh,
3 other
nice.
sisters. So cool coincidences today, Ethan.
Yeah, yeah, she's got pipes. Who knew?
I mean, who knew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about branding now. You had a question about branding for your business or something, some aspect of marketing
I
and advertising.
do, I do. I've had my business for 5 years now, and everyone is telling me that I need an ICP or an ideal customer or client profile. So I have a question on what's your expertise with that and how do I figure that out and do I need one?
First of all, who's telling you this? What kind of people are saying you need an ICP?
Oh, doing presentations or then like, who are you focusing on? And business coaches. And it seems to be the main theme this year of people advising me
Mhm.
to really go for a more focused customer.
Got it. Well, on the one hand, focus is fantastic because it means you're not trying to be all things for all people.
Uh-huh.
It means you can, very importantly, focus your dollars and your time. Because if you're going after everybody, you're trying to get everybody to know who you are, your dollars get spread very, very, very thin.
Yeah.
So focus is really good, especially if you're a small or mid-sized organization. I encourage that. It also can help to focus on a niche. You don't have to, but it does often help a company to say, I am the blank. I am the personal trainer for rock climbers, or I am the accountant for small manufacturing companies in the Midwest, or whatever the case may be. So focus is helpful because it also helps people self-identify as your prospects.
Mhm.
I am the leadership coach for C-suite women, right? And then if you're a woman in the C-suite, it helps you self-identify and say, oh, this person might have some extra expertise for me. So focus is really good in that way for a lot of different reasons. And in that regard, I agree with the folks who are telling you to focus on your ideal customer profile.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other piece of the puzzle though is that there will always be wiggle. This is my very technical term. Wiggle around who your customers really are. It is rare to always have 100% of your customers be exactly who you want them to be. And that's okay. You'll have some people that want you to stretch your offerings a little bit, or you'll have some people that don't fit your perfect ideal profile. And that's fine because
Yeah.
that's all customers, whether you're Coca-Cola or IBM. You'll get folks who aren't quite the best fit, but that's just natural. It's just part of business. But to have your ideal customer profile, as you call it, your ICP, helps you focus on what you want to be offering and the kind of customers you want to be attracting and help them ideally self-identify as well and narrow your efforts. So if your service is strictly for mid-sized um, companies in Colorado that are service industries versus manufacturers, that is a great focus. And then that focus could also lead you to specific ways to promote yourself or where to market yourself, like specific conferences or specific meetups or happy hours or things like that. And so the focus is good in that way to manage your resources and help you gain some traction somewhere. Because that's the hard part when you're a small company. How do you get traction?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah. What you don't have to freak out about, though, is having a perfect ICP, a perfect definition of your ideal customer, and also needing to create a persona that's really detailed. I've seen personas go way overboard. I'm looking for a 40 to 44-year-old woman who went to Dartmouth or something similar, and
Mm.
she's a vegetarian, and she started in a big firm and doing consulting, and now she's in her own company. That might be helpful, but it's also too self-limiting because when you add all of those elements, she's this, and she's this, and she's this, and she's this, that's a very, very, very tiny group, and your actual people won't all look the same.
Mhm.
Which gets me to another piece of the puzzle when it comes to defining your ideal prospect. More and more, I'm a fan um, of occasion-based targeting or needs-based targeting. For instance, Coca-Cola is bought by a lot of different types of people. They look different, they have different ages, they have different education levels. Coca-Cola is probably best targeted at people who are thirsty and want something really sweet and refreshing.
Mhm.
And so it doesn't define the person and doesn't paint some detailed picture of who they are, their demographics, their geography, their behaviors. It just paints a very simple picture of their need. What is the need they have in that moment? And if you can define the need people have or the occasion when they would want to pick up the phone and call you, Shelley, that is a critical piece of your ICP. So what is the occasion or need in which someone would call you?
Well, there's 2, actually. I do 2 things. One is when they have been when they're working with a really toxic boss, or they're in a situation in a career that they feel stuck, unhappy, overwhelmed, and other pain points, and they wanna get their mojo back. Another is a company that is looking to save money on white glove talent services because I do recruitment and I do executive coaching.
Great.
So, Ethan, what I really liked about what you were saying is that there is wiggle room around customers.
Mhm.
And ever since getting this quote advice back in January, I have focused more on the HR realm, uh, not making it like an HR leader who has 5 years, who is a gluten free, dairy free, uh,
Left-handed pickleball player.
exactly. Oh, I love pickleball, by the way. We could talk a lot about ball.
We sure could.
So the occasion might be when an HR manager or leader needs to hire for his or her business, but is feeling like they're not influencing in the right way
Mhm.
and is having some pain points around that.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm trying to bring both. What do you think?
That's great. Well, you've got 2 offerings, so that is a little different. It's a little
Yeah,
trickier than just saying, "We make Coca-Cola."
exactly.
So, for instance, for the Coca-Cola example, what if Coke also offered a snack food or also offered, I mean, Coke does have caffeine, so it's a little bit of an energy drink. People have their Coke in the morning or their Diet Coke in the morning. What if they offered, an alcoholic drink, like a hard seltzer, so you could relax? Those are different needs or different occasions.
Yeah, or like a Cuba Libre, just to
Correct.
like, or how to, I don't know how to say that, a
Uh,
rum and Coke.
a rum and Coke. And so those stretch a little bit far enough apart that you'd want to have each one have their own
Yeah.
offering. But that notion of, well, what's the need in the moment for each offering? I loved your point there about when people have a boss they're not gelling with, or they're hitting some ceilings and some walls in their company when dealing with, the C-suite or dealing with their manager.
Mhm.
And that's a really pretty broad and universal need. So that's great. You don't have to necessarily specialize even within that and say, right, you need to be a left-handed pickleballer. But people will identify with that need and say, oh, I have that problem. Maybe Shelley's the solution to that. And then that's when they'd think of calling you. So that's another neat way to think about your ICP, your ideal prospect isn't who they look like, but what their need is. Yeah,
Yeah, I like it.
great. And then as you develop it, this picture, you will, to summarize, keep your demographic or behavioral depiction very loose and broad. Don't overly define them in a detailed persona. Keep the need or occasion prominent and at the forefront. And then focus your energy on a place where you think a lot of these folks are, or where a lot of these folks have these issues or look for solutions to these issues.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's a mix of a little bit broad on the actual person, but a little bit focused for your efforts. So, because as a small company, you just don't have a lot of resources
Yeah.
to advertise everywhere. Yeah,
Awesome. Thank you. I wrote
abs
down like a whole page of notes just on quick 10-minute convo. So really appreciate it.
absolutely, absolutely. There is a lot of, as you call it, quote advice, quote out there.
Yeah.
And what I like to try and do in my practice is separate the shit from shinola,
Mhm.
separate what works all the time from what only works some of the time, and then help you navigate the difference between those three things. As I call them, the laws, which apply to everybody, the levers, which you may or may not use, and then the malarkey, which it's always available, right? There's always someone selling you something that just doesn't work at all.
I can't even tell you how true that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Ethan. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Thanks for chatting, and I'm excited to see you soon. I think I actually see you tomorrow, don't
I
I?
think I see you tomorrow. Yeah.
Great. Well, enjoy the
Okay.
rest of your day.
You too. Okay.
Okay. Bye. Do you feel like you should be getting more horsepower out of your brand, but you're not sure how? Bring it into the shop for a quick and affordable brand tune-up. We'll run some diagnostics, we'll make some quick fixes, and give you recommendations for bigger repairs or improvements you can do later. Learn more about the brand tune-up at appliedbrandscience.com.